Libra, welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your reading. We're going to do the 15th to the 30th of April. And we are using for the reading the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland, and we're using for the main reading, the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Isabella Rotman, and Spiritual Advice, the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland. Okay, we're going to be doing a 12 card spread, so the top card will be what you need to focus on for the next 2 weeks. The 10 cards in the centre of the reading will be what the situation is, and the bottom card will be advice. Okay, bear with me. Right, okay, hi Libra, let's have a look then. What is it you need to focus on for the next couple of weeks? The Ace of Cups, which is really, really nice. You know, the Ace of Cups is the opening up of the heart. It's healing as well with the Ace of Cups energy. It's revelation is the Ace of Cups, but it's also helping others as well with the Ace of Cups energy. And it depends on where you're coming from and what's going on with you. But if the focus is the Ace of Cups, you know, I just feel that the focus needs to be on kind of just probably trying to remain as open emotionally possibly as you can. Or the focus may be the need is to help others with the Ace of Cups, to you know, give people a bit of love, or whatever the case might be with the Ace of Cups energy showing here. For me, the Ace of Cups is the card about emotional openness, and it's a card about abundance, and it's a card about showing your feelings and helping others when you get this card. Underneath, what have we got? So we've got the Page of Cups, which shouldn't be reversed. It should be in the upright. Sorry, before when I came on, I noticed that when I'd laid them all down, obviously I edit these videos, and I noticed that everything was in the reverse, which it's not meant to be. It's just that because the camera is facing towards me, and you guys need to be able to see your reading, you know, I have to face the cards this way. I've got my camera hooked up to a monitor where I can see the spread anyway, in the way that you're seeing it. So this was reversed, and I must have forgotten to put it right. So the Page of Cups energy, dreams, imagination, could be a child as well. So maybe the focus is on love with the child, you know, just giving a little bit more love to a child, for example, because it could definitely be about a child. Page of Cups energy showing there. We've got the Judgment energy. Maybe there are big decisions here involved. Maybe somebody's at a crossroads, for example, with the Judgment energy showing here. The Three of Swords. You know, I think there are big decisions coming in around work. So maybe the focus needs to be on, I think, a couple of things, really. I think that you need to be open. I think this is, I don't think it's so much about children, though it could be for some of you guys, but I think that there is a need here, Libra, to be emotionally open to change. That's how it feels to me, because I think that the situation is probably about a new path, because pages are also the new paths. This could be a new creative venture here, and I think there's a very important decision that needs to be made, possibly about your work as well, Libra, over the next couple of weeks showing here, okay? Yeah, I think there's a great deal of worry for some of you guys with the Nine of Swords energy showing there. Page of Swords energy, but you need to get more information here. You also, it could be that there's a couple of things, really. The worry may be over arguments, okay? So say, for example, you say, you know what, I want to change my job. You know, I don't really want to do what I've done before, because I do think that during this time that we're all going through, that it is making people reflect even more deeply on certain things that we've ignored before. You know, we realise the preciousness of life and how precious life actually is. So there is a need really to focus on kind of, you know, what do I really want to do? And I think that some of you guys probably have come to this watershed moment with this Judgment energy, where you are reviewing the work that you're doing, because the Judgment card is all about a review, and that's about the work. So you're probably reviewing your work, Libra, here. There are worries either that, because you're considering, I think the situation may be considering a new path, reviewing the work that you do, and worrying probably either that, you know, this is going to bring an argument about, or there may be worries about your child, for example, you know, or children. We do have pages in the reading, so there may be worries about, well, what will the knock-on effect be to my kids? Am I going to be able to, you know, afford to put food on the table, or, you know, is this really going to affect me financially? That type of thing. So you know, there's a lot of worries there. Or are you worrying about there being an argument in the home? Or you may be worrying because this may be a path that you're going into, or you're considering a new path that you don't have any qualifications in, because you've got pages in the reading and they don't have much experience. So it may be that the worries are coming from that you're reviewing maybe the work that you do, but you're saying, you know, I want to go on this new path, but you know, I don't really have much experience in this, and what's it going to take to get me that experience, that type of thing. Or it's an argument maybe showing here, or maybe there's worries here, but we need to kind of do some, I think that you're worrying probably about, you know, getting a backlash, because that can be an argumentative card as well. Yeah, I'm seeing some of you guys carrying a bit of a heavy load here with the Ten of Wands energy showing here. Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly struggling, I think. Struggles probably with income, or, you know, a permanent income, or getting consistently paid, because the Knight of Coins, in terms of, you know, work and money, is having a consistent income. You know, it's having, this is like your permanent job. So worried about kind of like, you know, getting consistent money in, income, that type of thing showing here. The Knight of Swords, though, so that's interesting. Two knights facing off against each other. Look at that. So there's a huge load that's being carried here, Libra, about money. The Knight of Coins energy, rushing with the Knight of Swords energy showing here. So leaving, exiting a job. Let's have a look at the next one here. That pays well. I think there's a great deal of burden that you're feeling about the money that you could make from a new path. Okay, because you would be exiting a job, exiting Knight of Swords, a job that pays really well. I think some of you guys probably are focusing on this new path, but I think that the focus needs to be on doing what you love and being authentic in that, because the Ace of Cups is about authenticity and authentically loving what we do. So there needs to be, and also I think that really, because for me the Ace of Cups is a big money card as well. It really is. When you get water cards, they're money as well, whether you believe that or not. Especially in this deck, the Queen of Cups with her bowl, and you're asking, so for example, if you said, I've got no money now, will I have money by the end of the week, and you got the Queen of Cups, you'd probably get money. Especially if you see water in the cup and it's overflowing, that's an abundance of it. So, but I think really what I'm looking at here in a way is that it feels like to me, Libra, there's a bit of a lack mentality because of all this worrying and the pressure here. So you got this new path, Page of Cups energy showing here, and you're reviewing your work. So you're kind of, as well, it's almost like you're saying to yourself, in your imagination, you're dreaming of this new path. Do you see what I mean? In your imagination. I noticed that the fish is in the water. All right, so it's almost like usually the fish is out of the cup, not in it. So almost like being a fish out of water, that card sometimes has a take on it. But it's in the water, so it's fine. So it's almost like you have this imagination, okay, it feels like with this Page of Cups, your imagination is to do something that you've never, and also the Judgment card. So it's almost like you're imagining yourself kind of breaking free. Being that Knight of Coins, I'm going to double up these cards as well. So there's an imagination that you could break free with the Judgment energy from probably the mundanity of the job that you do right now. Because I think that some of you guys have reviewed the work that you do right now. Okay? And I think that some of you guys are feeling to yourself, you know what? Oh man, this is too much. So some of you guys, you may be imagining yourself kind of releasing yourself from being released from a very mundane job. Okay? You've reviewed this work and it's kind of like, oh man, this is just too boring, or whatever the case might be. But I do feel that there are worries that if you kind of go on this new trajectory, you may be worrying, about your children, if you've got children, especially if you're a single parent as well. You may be worrying kind of like, I've got to maintain the household, 9 of Coins, got to look after the kids, 9 of Coins, got to buy their uniforms, whatever for the next school semester, whatever it is, 9 of Coins. And there's all those worries there about the kids. If not, then I think that also there could be worries about an argument, or this starting an argument. Maybe it's with the partner, that type of thing, because some of you guys want to go on the new trajectory. You want to go on this new creative path, start this new job off, a new job, probably starting from the bottom as well, being that we've got pages in the reading where you're not getting paid as much. But you may worry that this is going to create arguments because the job that you do right now pays so well with that 9 of Coins energy. So some of you guys are feeling really, really burdened and I think it's more that you're feeling burdened that you do have, for some of you guys, a good income, a consistent income. But if you exit the job that you're doing right now, are there going to be problems with this? So I'm seeing worries as well, looking at these cards here, because here you're imagining leaving behind a mundane job. Probably you've really kind of done your homework, and you're looking at you're reviewing the work that you're doing right now, and I feel that you're worried about taking a new path because you're worried about children, you're worried about arguments that this could probably pertain to. But also, if that's not the case, Libra, you may simply be worried because the path that you're going on with this Page of Swords energy, it might be that you have to study, for example, or you have to do a course in it or something like that, and you're like, oh man, how am I going to do this and earn money at the same time? There's so many things, I think, because we've got the burdens on the head here as well. So there's so many things for you to consider, and that's why I think that there is worry here, and there's a lot of burdens that you're carrying about the bills as well with the Knight of Swords, Knight of Coins energy showing there. So the burdens that you carry are things like, oh, shit, I've got bills to pay. They're coming thick and fast. I've got all these bills to pay. I'm also feeling burdened because I need to keep money consistently in. All right, so I'm carrying burdens because I need to keep the flow of money consistently coming in. And I'm carrying burdens about exiting a job that pays really well. So you're kind of saying to yourself, but I don't really have a reason to exit this job. It's almost like some of you guys are thinking, but this is just a vanity project for me because I don't really have any reason. It's almost like you question yourself, I don't have any reason for leaving where I am right now because I'm earning good money through the job that I do. Because that's somebody who earns good money. Look how she lives, luxury, through the work that she does, through the services that she provides. So it's just kind of like I'm seeing for some of you Librans, quite a bit of worry and pressure and overthinking because you're kind of like, well, if I leave, you've got so many things to consider about leaving a particular job. But what is the advice? The Eight of Swords is the advice. I think it's a tricky one with the Eight of Swords. I don't think you should stick anywhere that you don't want to stick. I think that the advice is that you are protected because the Eight of Swords also represents that you are protected. Also, the Eight of Swords says that you need to look at the options around you. All right, because you're not seeing that. You've got the blindfold on, and those swords around you are also the options that are around you as well. So you need to look at what are your options because you're not seeing that. You need to take the blindfold off, and you need to take your hands out of this. All right, there are other people that are keeping you like this. Whoever, if this is someone that you're worried about getting into a bit of an argument with, that's the person that's holding you ransom here. You're not held to ransom. You can take that blindfold off if you so wish, because there are lots of ways to go around this with the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is not always a bad card. As an advice card, it can be that you have a lot of options around you with that Eight of Swords energy and that you are actually protected as well. Okay, so you're not going to go short. But I think that this is going to take planning, whatever this is. Okay. The Ten of Wands can also be one of those cards that represents that you're burdened down by work as well. So it may be that, you're considering or you're imagining yourself leaving a job that's mundane in which you're carrying a heavy load of work on, You've reviewed the work and you want to exit the job, but the problem is you get really well paid for it, and there's a lot of worries that this is going to cause arguments if you do that. But I think the advice with the Eight of Swords is simply take that blindfold off and look at what the options are. You may be not as trapped as you think you are. Let's have a quick look at what the spiritual advice is. What's the spiritual advice, please, that you have for Libra in 2 cards, universe? What's the spiritual advice that you have for Libra in 2 cards? Right. Control. So the Eight of... that's strength. So you need to control something here. Control is the strength card. This is considered the strength card. The strengthening bonds. Okay. So I feel that you need to... because strength, I never know. I know that this is an ace. I think it may be an Ace of Wands, because I think the ones in sort of red borders are wands. So strength. It depends on how you read that. Okay, I think it's saying that you have the strength. You have the strength to start something new. You have the strength to create your own reality, because the wands are all about creation. They're about creating something, especially the Ace of Wands. It acts like a magical wand. So you have the strength, I think, to create your own reality, to create something new. All right, and you can see actually on this card, she's literally walking down this kind of, this kind of gate with this kind of pathway. It's almost like she's entering into a new realm. So I think that you have the, the strength to start, to create a new reality. But I also feel with the strength card, you need to start believing in yourself, because strength is also about inner belief. So you need to start believing that you can create this new reality for yourself, because I think that you've put up so many obstacles in the way here, Libra, as to why this cannot be done. Whereas if you start believing that it can be done, the universe is just going to start throwing out all sorts of options to you. All sorts of options. Because usually what happens in our reality is down to how we're seeing things and how we're thinking of things. That's the problem. So a lot of people think that's mumbo jumbo. Oh no, it's not. It is the way it is, but it's true. If you start thinking negatively about stuff and you start putting all these obstacles in your way, that's how the situation will remain, and you'll just find more obstacles and more obstacles and more obstacles coming to you. Whereas if you can start believing, you know, because this is a core card when you look at the strength card, so this is about inner belief. If you can start really believing that you have the power with that Ace of Wands energy to start creating this new reality, which clearly to me you guys want, you know, you're going to find that the universe is going to start opening up all of these kind of pathways for you to go down. All right, but you have to start believing in that. I think nobody should stick with anything like that. And I know that, you know, if you're worried about an argument, the argument will be, you're thinking of changing in this time, you know, when jobs are going to be hard to come by, and when you'll have a negative Nancy on your ass, basically, which will probably be that Page of Swords, because the Page of Swords consistently questions things. You know, so whoever that Page of Swords is, I don't necessarily think that's a child, though I do think for some of you guys there will be worries about children if you change career course, especially a career that pays so well, because you do get paid really well for it. But some of you guys, you've got this person saying, you want to change jobs when you're getting paid really, really well. Are you crazy? And you don't have that much experience or something like that, and you're going to have to retrain. Are you crazy? You know, you're going to have someone who's probably around you, could be a partner more than likely, who'll say that to you. But I think that you need to, regardless of what they say, obviously, if it's your partner or a family member, obviously you have to take into account, you know, things that they're saying, okay? But at the end of the day, I actually feel that you also have to, you know, you also have to focus on what you want, because nobody should have to do the things that they don't want to do in life, regardless of what the circumstances. So you have to have, you know, a core of still, you have to really start believing that you have the power to kind of create this new pathway. And at some point, I'm not saying it's going to be today, and I'm not going to say it's going to be tomorrow or even by the end of the month, but at some point, as soon as you start building up that strength, that internal strength, in which you can start creating, because what you build up inside starts to manifest on the outside. That's when you're going to see all these options starting to open up to you, okay? All right, that is your reading, Libra. I'd like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe. If you'd like your own private reading, click on the link in the sorry, I say it to my clients, in the comments section below or in the end screen. Take care. Bye-bye.